Hello and thanks for watching. I'm Jon Bozeka. This week at Otterbein, the baseball team returns from Florida. The death of a friend is mourned by all, and the senior art exhibit is up in Miller Gallery. But first, the mumps have had a large amount of cases reported in Franklin County. Over the past couple of weeks, 80 cases have been reported in the county alone and over 50 at The Ohio State University. With the amount of students that have caught the sickness at the big college down the road, I sat down with junior Ohio State student Tessa DeTiro to find out more. I asked DeTiro first about the sickness itself and how it will affect someone who has caught it.
It affects the salivary glands, so like the people that have had it are like very, very swollen, like in their face and like up here. And it spreads, I guess, through saliva because it affects the salivary glands. And then they said if you like sneeze, cough, and don't like cover that, and it's like airborne.
DeTiro then told me of the precautions Ohio State has tried to take, which have included passing out a stay well bag to each student.
In the stay well bags, there are thermometers, sanitizer, like kind of facts about the mumps, like how you spread it, what you can do, if you think you have it, where you should go. But it's just weird because people are getting it that have been vaccinated, and it's just really like freaking out the administration, I think.
DeTiro, who came back with a 24-hour flu from spring break, had herself checked out at Ohio State's Minute Clinic to make sure she wasn't infected with the mumps herself. She explains what the doctor checked for.
He touched this part of my head, he touched here. He said a lot of the cases he had seen were very swollen, like right in here and then like down here.
And for the students at Ohio State, including DeTiro, the hope is to just keep things as normal as possible.
I can't not go to class, I can't not do what I usually do. So I think that it is freaky to all of the students, but I think that we really don't have a choice. I mean, they're not going to stop school.
DeTiro went on to explain that someone may be carrying the mumps yet not immediately show it. It may take a few weeks before the symptoms are noticeable. If you feel as though you may be getting sick, do not hesitate to contact the Otterbein Health Center and have yourself checked for the illness. The mumps is a very contagious sickness and not one to mess around with. If we hear more about the sickness and how far it has spread, we will alert you here on Otterbein TV through Twitter, which can be found at the handle @Otterbein TV. Please contact us if you hear anything about any cases here on campus. Well, the parking behind 33 College View is owned by the city of Westerville. Otterbein has had permission to use some of the parking located behind the Communication and Art Building, although some of this parking is reserved for the Westerville Community Data Center. There are 12 spots reserved for this use. If you have a class at 33 College View, the Westerville Police Department will give you a ticket for parking in one of these spaces. The lot across the street from the Com and Art Building is okay to park in, as well as the intermediate parking in the back of the building and along the side. If you have any questions, you can contact the Westerville PD at 614-901-6790. Friends and family are mourning the death of a loved one from the Cardinal community. Junior Kyle Miller went kayaking and fishing with 19-year-old Otterbein student Austin Gifford on March 15th. West of Columbus at Darby Bends Lake, Miller's Scottish Terrier fell out of his kayak, and Miller and Gifford's kayaks capsized while trying to save the dog. In a statement issued to Otterbein TV, Gifford said, and I quote, "Less than a minute after entering the water, the effects of the 34-degree water were already making movement more and more difficult. I swam for about a half hour, holding on to my swamped kayak until I couldn't hold on anymore, and a bystander on the shore jumped in and rescued me from the water. During this time, Kyle was blown in the middle of the lake due to the strong winds and was unable to swim to shore, so he held on for as long as he could to his kayak. I was told the news that Kyle could not be located in the water after he slipped under while in the hospital and was absolutely devastated." Gifford also said, "Kyle was not only my roommate this year, but also my best friend. His passion for wildlife and the outdoors was contagious and spread to his friends, including myself. I will always remember him for his humor and always for living life to the fullest. He was the most fun guy I have ever met, and he has definitely had a lasting impact on everyone's life who he knew. I very much appreciate my friends and family helping me through this tough time, and am praying for Miller's family every day. We would like to extend our condolences to the Miller family at this time." We're going to take a short break here, but when we come back, Alicia Lawson will fill us in on what's going on in the arts and entertainment field.
Where do you think? Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine. Negative.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
With that shoulder, you're gonna pick up that track. Really?
Keeping you from working, playing, or just plain moving.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people who live with pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. I'm going running. I'm going running.
Got to see this. Come on, pick it up.
Fight for your mobility. Find your own inspiration at anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Come on. I'll take it from here.
Many of Otterbein's senior art majors have been working hard to put together and finalize their pieces for the senior art exhibit, which premiered this week.
This week kicked off the start of the Senior Art Showcase for all graduating Otterbein Art and Design majors.
Senior art exhibit is the graduating class in the art department. We each break up into groups and have our own art shows, and there's a new art show every single week until graduation.
These students' art pieces are not just from this semester. In fact, many have been preparing for quite some time.
I mean, we've known about this since our freshman year, so kind of it's always been in the back of your mind, but we really started planning at the beginning of the semester. So already having our work prepared, we were able to plan our show. Starting at the beginning of the semester, we are taking a class right now that you kind of learn the ins and outs of planning the exhibit, and then you get to actually put it into place.
Each week, a new group of 4 students present their show. They work together to create a theme between the group of them.
Our title was Art Attack because our 4 names made up the word tack, so Art Attack, but also because it had a little power kicking off the art shows. So.
Though the show is based around one theme, each of these seniors bring a different creative element to the table.
We all have different work. There's a lot of printmaking, photography, and collage in our show. But it was really interesting because we kind of brought all of our work, not really knowing exactly what what everyone in our group was showing, but they all kind of meshed and worked together. So there's a lot of themes of like femininity and concepts of like texture and abstraction, and then play on like I would say media and that sort of thing in our show.
Cassidy spent around 2 months preparing just one of her favorite pieces.
I would say my favorite piece that I made was my shopping bag collection. I did a lot of collage work, and when I was going through collages, I was noticing faces that kept reappearing. And for women, it was one of 2 faces, either a smile or a very fake, energetic face. And for men, it was almost no emotion whatsoever. And I thought that was kind of interesting to our society, that these are our options for men and women. Women, we want you to be overdramatic and very expressive. Men, we don't want you to show any emotion.
These students have used all forms of inspiration to create some of their work.
One of my pieces is called The Storm is Coming, and it's a large-scale self-portrait, actually. Last semester, I was really playing with the idea of doing self-portraiture just to kind of explore ideas that I had about myself and how my 4 years of college, how it's kind of changed me and how that can be reflected through my artwork. So it's a large-scale portrait done through a printmaking process, and I'm extremely happy with how they turned out. I started out with one idea and it turned into something completely different, but that's kind of the nature of the creative process, I think. So I was really excited that I was able to kind of not only use my graphic design skills but also combine that with my fine art skills and kind of make something that I was really proud of.
There will be a new show each week leading up to graduation. Students can stop by the gallery during these weeks to check out the pieces. If you're into good music and fun entertainment, then you should check out Otterbein's Humor and Music performance this Sunday. Select choirs through Otterbein's Department of Music, in conjunction with University's Enrichment Series, will be performing pieces of work that focus on humor, satire, or cultural commentary. The performances will take place this Sunday, March 30th at 7 p.m. in Riley Auditorium, located in the Patel Fine Arts Center. A reception with guest composers will follow their performance. A leadership class here at Otterbein is working on creating a service learning event. A few students got together to spread the word about an organization called She Has a Name. This is a nonprofit which raises money and awareness for sex trafficking in the Central Ohio. These students will hold an event April 8th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the campus center. It's free for all to attend and will bring in speakers from the organization and survivors of human trafficking, professors from Otterbein's campus, and Judge Herbert from Columbus, who will be there to talk about Catch Court, a rehab for sex trafficking victims, which he began in 2009. T-shirts for the event will be on sale in the campus center for students to purchase leading up to the event. Come show your support and help spread awareness on Tuesday the 8th. From campus events to sporting events, let's see what's happening in the upcoming days on this week's community calendar. That's all the time we have for arts and entertainment. After the break, David Kinder will have the sports updates. Stay tuned.
All the preparation, the training, it all comes down to this.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
We have a job to do out here today.
Some people think it's about muscle, but it's really about heart. A lot of heart.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
Is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
The Otterbein baseball team is back from Florida and they're 9-6 after being swept in the conference and home opener Saturday. But first, we'll take a look at a man who hasn't been on Otterbein's campus in 15 years, but his name is still very recognizable around the school. Go to any Otterbein baseball game and on the back of the players' hats, written in red over top of a baseball, is the word fish. Along with that, the games are played on Fishball Field. It's to pay homage to a man for whom the better part of 4 decades spent his time coaching and teaching Otterbein baseball. Current coach George Powell replaced Dick Fishball in 2000 and spent 5 years under him on his staff. Powell remembers Fishball as the teacher and coach who he tries to follow every day.
Well, I think he was the salt of the earth, type of person. He was just a great person to start with. I think how he affected people was in a real positive and a direct and honest way. And I think that, I reflect on it all the time. This is my 15th year, and it's hard to believe he's been gone that long, but I think about him pretty much, especially during the season, almost daily in terms of what we do, how we do what we do. And I think in my earlier years, you're kind of young and you kind of just go like a bull in a china shop. And the longer I've been around, the more I reflect on the things that he did as a coach.
In his 33 years in Westerville, Fishball won 624 games, second most in the OAC's century of baseball history. He took Otterbein to the school's first OAC title in 1989. From 1967 to 99, his Cardinals appeared in 6 NCAA tournaments. In 2004, the field he coached at for so long was named in his honor, and the fish logo was added to the team's hats, a tradition Coach Powell started.
My thought was somebody that was here for so long, it should be part of the program. Not at the time, the field wasn't named after him yet, and that was coming. And I think my idea was Coach Fishball is Otterbein baseball, and that was my thought. And certainly now with the field named after him, that's what it was. And I think as time goes, I've just always tried to honor that, and that was important to me. I just wanted something that was going to be there forever, that people would say, you know, what's Fish Stample? And that's kind of what he was known as by the players, and even people, you know, around campus here, they knew him as Fish. And it was a real, you know, that name really was a real pleasant, positive thing when you talked about him, and it gave you warm feelings in your heart when you thought about Fish. And
it's been 15 years since Dick Fishball last coached Otterbein baseball, but for his successor, George Powell, he always tries to follow Fishball's model of teaching.
Something that this university should always be proud of, and it's somebody that I will always try to, you know, follow in his footsteps as closely as I can, because the closer I am, you know, the better I'll be.
The baseball team's next conference game is a doubleheader this Saturday in Bexley, Ohio, as they take on the Capital Crusaders. Sophomore right-handers Ben Hamilton and Terrell Dorsey are the projected starters for the Tannen Cardinal. The men's lacrosse team is struggling in their first season as a member of the Ohio Athletic Conference. Coach Harnett's team is 3-4 after last week's 1-goal loss to Kenyon, their third loss in a row. Through 7 games, Mike Dadalow is leading the team in goals scored with 16. The lacrosse team next plays Wednesday in Memorial Stadium against Worcester. The women's lacrosse team, however, is off to their most successful start in school history at 7-2, and they have won 6 games in a row. 2 Cardinals won OAC honors this past week as freshman middie Maddie Blackburn was co-offensive player of the week, while senior middie Kayla Quinner was defensive player of the week. The next time the ladies are back in Westerville is Thursday at Clements Field against Defiance College. And John, there's a lot of athletics going on around campus, and they're coming back from Florida, so.
In your script there, senior middie Maddie, that's a real tongue twister.
That's a tough one to say, yeah.
Well, that's been all for this week's show. We'll catch you next week on behalf of David, Alicia, and the entire crew. I'm Jon Bozeka. Have a great week, Westerville.